This week on Dumb Pitches, my guest is Luke Severeid, and we dive into some childhood ideas. What's the worst way for a 6-year-old to cross a river? We will answer that for you. And also those angsty teen years when you decide you need to dye your hair, but your peach fuzz goatee doesn't match it. It's really fun. You're going to love it. Here we go, Dumb Pitches.
What a bunch of dumb pitches. Oh my goodness.
Welcome to another episode of Dumb Pitches with Monica Nevi. I'm Monica Nevi, your host. This is the show where we talk to successful people about their worst ideas. Very excited for our guest this week. Help me welcome Luke Severeid. Yay.
Hey, hello.
Oh, there he is. All right, I'll just tell him now. Luke can't see me. We don't know why, but we can all see him. I can see him. You can see him as a listener. He can't see me. He's just looking at a picture of Kendrick Lamar. So
and myself below Kendrick.
Perfect.
So it's just going to be...
Just to remind you of the success level you're at. Sorry.
Yeah, that is great. Just be like, well, this guy right here is crushing it, and you're right here.
But there's only two of you to go off. So, but we're in the new studio here, so we think the camera angles are a little better, and we'll make it work. It's a good time. It's a good time. Excited to have you. We always like to start by giving your good ideas, so people know you haven't only had really bad ideas. So Luke Severeid, hilarious stand-up comic. You were a finalist in the San Francisco comedy competition. Semi-finalist. Sorry, damn it.
I didn't want to steal any valor.
Yeah. That's okay. You've been in the Bumbershoot Comedy Festival, the Seattle International Comedy Festival or competition. You also were in a horror film called Buzzard Hollow Beef, which is an award-winning film, and some other short films, and one of which won Best Comedy at the Hump Film Festival and the West Sound Festival. You also have a stand-up comedy album called Good Job. You're out there. You're making stuff. You're doing stuff. And successfully, I would say. So now that we have made you feel good.
Honestly, I'm going to just clip out that introduction and use that as a morning mantra.
You're like, remember, you have done good stuff.
Because as you were saying it, I was like, oh, that's right. We did. Yeah, we did. We have done things. We should. We should carpe that diem today.
Yeah. You're like, I could do more things. That's how I feel.
Yeah.
Sometimes the good parts make me go, well, you haven't done anything good in a long time, which probably isn't the best.
No, but now I hadn't thought until you just said it.
Sorry.
And I was like, oh, that's why.
Look at me. You give me a phone call every morning and I'll talk you into it.
There we go. That sounds exhausting for you.
No, yeah, you're right. All right. So when I kind of give you the criteria of what we look for our bad ideas here, what did you come up with for your bad ideas?
Well, the first, I felt like trying to go back to just the earliest memories, and one of the very first bad ideas that I had that came to mind, because you know how you don't remember everything from your childhood, just a couple things stick out here and there.
Definitely.
One of the first instances of me ever just being like, oh, clearly that's not what people wanted. I was 6 years old. I was with my family. We were at the Cannon Beach Christian Conference Center down in Oregon. We would go there every year for a week and learn about Jesus and wear sunscreen. At the same time, it was delightful. But where the conference center is, there was like a river that kind of like cuts through the beach and then goes out to the ocean. And I remember, they have a bunch of groups, like, so the kids hang out, make friends, whatever. I remember hearing that like my friends were going to be like on the other side of the river, and my brother was out doing something. My little sister was like a baby or something. So I was just kind of by myself. My parents were doing other things. So I just decided I needed to go hang out with my friends. And I just like walked through the river. There was like no bridge, and the river was like, tides would come in and out. And I just remember like walking through it, and then like the water like went up to my chin, but I just like kept walking through it. Just like not thinking anything of it, just being like, well, we don't know how to swim well, and I don't want to have to like be underwater, so we're just gonna just like walk through it. I got to the other side, walked around, None of my friends were there. So I walked back and then like went to the room my parents were staying in, just like clearly just water up to like recently soggy, but hair totally dry. And my parents flipped out so much. Like they flipped out because like the tide comes in and out and like
Yeah.
rip tide, all that stuff. But I mean, I didn't know oceans. Like and so that was like the first thing that came to mind. Is
That's
just like, oh
amazing.
yeah.
I feel like it to me sounds like you Oregon Trail, like you got to the edge of it and you were like, I could try and float or I could just walk through this pitch. And then, like,
I mean, like what seems okay, if you're a small child and you aren't great at swimming, what seems more reasonable? Like keeping your feet on ground and just going, or like just like trying to doggy paddle and
I do. I mean, I also love that none of the options were like, I could just wait to see if my friends come back over here or whatever, you know, you're just like, I got to figure this out. And
like that was one of the first attempts ever at problem solving. And it was just like, oh no, you should not follow your own ideas.
There's a lot of imagery here for me too, obviously, because just seeing just like the little head above water is hilarious. And then also imagining you with hair is always fun for me, but
yeah, it's less fun for me.
Yeah.
But
the little Luke walking through the water. I mean, or if like you were just we were just someone standing around, you know, like seeing this little head just like walking through the water. No, but was anybody there at all? Like they were just like, no.
I mean, cool. It was like during the day, it would be like fairly busy in there. Like okay. it'd be the place where like a lot of kids my age and you know up into like little you know like preteens, that area, like they'd hang out there, and then like more teenagers and adults, you'd go out to where like the actual waves are coming in. This is like the Bunny Hill kind of thing.
Okay.
So there were parents there, and they had to have watched me just
watched you, and they're just like,
just a head, and then just
and were you
we walked across the beach?
Yeah, and then I think that's the best part, to be like, wow, that was crazy that kid did that, and then you just kind of turn around and go back, like you just do it again.
Yeah, I just there's nothing over here for me.
Well, I know how to get back. Were you wearing clothes?
Oh,
fully clothed. Just no bathing.
Oh,
I don't know
why. T-shirt and my jeans.
You just like got shoes on. Just I'm gonna walk.
Actually, I did. Mom was mad.
I bet. Not even okay. I mean, obviously, as a parent, you might be a little concerned when you're like, "Hey, unless there's one of us with you, please don't just get in the water." You know, like that's a dangerous place. But to be like, no, just fully clothed, just walk directly into to neck high water.
Yeah. And as an adult now, I look back and it's just like, hey, like this is a little bit on you guys.
I mean, honestly, as a parent, not to judge them at all, but I'm like, it would make me very nervous to have our son just by the water because we know that he is stupid. So it's not helpful to be like, kids are dumb. They just are.
And in defense of your child, yeah, like every child is stupid.
Right.
And like what sort of teaching, like what sort of parenting could you do just to be like, by the way, you're going to go into the water.
If you're ever alone by water.
Well, also, if you're going to get wet, appropriate attire.
Yes.
Also, don't do it alone.
Yeah. Fair.
And
but
it's okay if you, sorry.
If you're not by water all the time, you know, like then, I mean, I'm assuming you didn't live right next to the ocean. Mm-mm. So this might be the one time a year or whatever you are next to the water may not have come up before, you know?
Yeah, why would it? And then it definitely came up and it was a big deal. I got in trouble. It
is one of those things where as a parent, you just can't predict that. You can try to do those things, you know, hey, if whatever, if a stranger talks to you, don't talk to them, you know, come and find an adult that you trust, those types of things you can prepare them for. But there's no way you can be prepared for everything like this that they would possibly, you'd be like, nope, did not see that one coming. Nope, did not see. Just fully clothed, walk through a river. Did not see that coming.
Yeah, I remember seeing my mom like taking my wet clothes and just being like, we gotta wash these. I'm like,
like, I guess you do. Sorry.
Yeah. Oh, well, they're wet. I thought they'd be clean. They're like, now they're salty. Oh, there's salt out there. Interesting. We're learning things.
We're like, I didn't even know what salt water was. That's great. Well, I really enjoyed that one, and we're glad you made it through that.
Yeah, me too. My hair didn't, but
that's when you lost it there at 6.
yeah. Actually, that was another stupid thing that I thought of, because I jumped from that to just like teen years, because that's when a lot of good dumb ideas happen. And did you ever, in like, you know, middle school or high school, did you have a year where you're like, all right, it's a new year, it's a new me, where you just like shifted as a person?
I think probably. I don't know if I had like the conscious idea that I was unconscious. Thought that it was like, this is, you know, I don't know. That's a good question. I would say as I went into high school, probably I felt a lot.
And you went to high school was 9 through 12.
Yeah.
For you? Okay.
Yeah.
Me, I was in the Puyallup district, and so we had junior high 7 through 9, and then high school 10 through 12. And I remember between 8th grade and 9th grade, like, just was like, all right, we're into metal music now. That's going to be who we are.
Okay, yeah.
It coincided with me growing a goatee, like before I was 15. Like bottom goatee. Wasn't like, I didn't have a full on. I had a little bit of fuzzy.
Could you? Actually, because you couldn't grow it up there.
Oh, not yet. Not yet. I mean, I was like 14 and a
could.
half. Like I'm doing okay.
Okay.
But like, I remember I was actually at Cannon Beach that summer with my parents.
Back at the church.
They like, I was able to like, actually, it was starting to grow. I was like, oh, this is who we're going to be as a person. Fantastic. I didn't go into the river that time. But
didn't want to get it. You would have got on your goatee.
Would have got on my and I didn't want to get my hair wet, obviously. Bad things happen when hairs get wet. But I remember, like, you know, I went back to school, and then, you know, you get a metalhead, and it's all very like, it was like new metal. It was early or like late 90s, early 2000s. And I was like, oh, I'll spike my hair. I got a goatee. Oh, I should dye it. And so I dyed my hair, which is whatever. That's the time to do it.
On the top of your head.
On the top of my head.
Okay.
And then I realized it did not match my goatee. So I dyed it as well.
Oh, no.
Yes.
That's an audible reaction from Blake on that one.
hey, man, I can't see either of you. And so I don't know what your face is like, so I can't be defensive, even though clearly I am. It was a bad idea.
His hair is on the top of his head, so there you go. But okay, so what? Oh, I've always wondered about people dyeing the hair on their face, because women used to do their eyebrows. Sometimes you dye them instead of, now you like pencil them in. I'm sure you did it then too, but people would actually dye them. And then I've heard of, I don't think I've ever known anyone who, well, until now, who dyed their facial hair.
That was like 2 decades ago at this point, which hurts to say out loud, but it's like, yeah, man, kids are stupid, and no one tells you not to do that.
Did you ever like ask it? You just made that decision, dyed it on your own? Did you have like your mom help you or anything, or you just?
Yeah, she helped me. So it's just like, yo, you're complicit.
She's an enabler.
Yeah, like, so like, don't walk through a river, but for sure, I'm gonna make you look like a stupid 15-year-old.
Do you think have you ever asked her about it? Do you think she was like, this looks horrible, but I'm going to help you express yourself anyways?
I love my parents. Asterisks, they don't have a good sense of most things.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, they're very wholesome people, and wholesome people tend to be very like bubbled off, and they're like, we like what we like. Anyways, we're going to teach you that. And then I go out in the world, go, oh, no one else is into this. Interesting.
Cool. All right. And yeah. And did you know, okay, so you dyed your hair, which was popular at the time.
Yes, it was. I mean, like all the bands I was into, everything was like no one had natural hair color.
Right. Well, what color are we bleaching it, or what color did you?
Oh, I dyed it black.
Dyed it black. Okay. All right. That's not as
metal, dude. Oh, you just thought I had like a bright goatee?
You did, like, just, you're like, I need this to be blonde too. But
yeah,
still, okay, so we're going dark black.
Yeah,
okay.
it was like dark. Also, it was basically just this area down here.
Oh yeah, we have to remember that it's not the hair we're looking at now. It is.
No, it's just that's not good either. But just it was this right here.
It's more of a U shape then.
Nothing on the sides. That's great. That's good looking right there. But
if you're not watching this on YouTube, you should. This is great.
This is this is a face only a mother would die. But we dyed it down here, and then camera's out of focus.
Oh, there it goes.
We dyed it down here, but a thing they don't tell you in the directions is that the dye can also dye your skin. So I just also had like my skin underneath that got a little darker too, and so it's just bad.
That's not a great combo. You're okay. So it's not even growing in really. Or at least fully. You want it to match your head hair.
Because I did that top head hair initially, and then I was like, oh, that like I liked how that looked. Okay. But then everyone's like, dude, you clearly don't match, because I had kind of like light brown. I mean, it's a little bit darker now as an adult, but it's like it didn't match. So like, all my buddies would just be like, and I was like, all right, you guys, fine, I'll fix it. And then I fixed it, and I was like, this is all bad ideas.
And so you did look at it and go, this is not good.
Yeah, like I should make it match, and then it looked terrible, and I was like, oh, this is just who we are for a little while.
So so you left it that way.
Yeah, I didn't do it.
You weren't like, let me shave this off and deal with this black chin I've accidentally given myself.
Yeah, see, that is also like, if I get rid of it, all I do is uncover like stained skin.
Oh god.
Which is even easier to make fun of.
Yeah.
Because all the dudes making fun of me also couldn't grow a goatee. So it's like, Luke, you look stupid. I was like, yeah, but I also look like more of a man than you. And my mom helped me.
And she said it looked fine.
She says I have a handsome face. But so she's biased.
Oh my god, that's and I feel like so many people can relate to that though, especially with there was a lot more dyeing of hair, and when we were middle school, high school-ish, I feel like maybe not.
And also, it's weird. It's not weird, but it's like there's a lot of dyeing of hair when you're like a teenager, and now somehow it's just like adults. Like I see so many either grandmas or like soon to be grandmas with just like, here's a purple streak in my hair, and I'm like, what is?
We lost our fucking minds. I think, well, because for me, I highlighted my hair a couple of times, which was very popular. But I actually went a long time without ever dyeing it at all. And then highlighted it. It was fine. And then had to dye it back brown so that it grew out normally.
Yeah.
But and then I haven't done anything to it since then. But now these sweet, sweet grays are coming in. And so now to the point, because I think some hairdressers, I don't know if this ever happened to you when you started to lose your hair. Would they not say anything about it at first because they're like, I'm sure he knows? Or because I had my hairdresser do it a few times where she like didn't say anything. And I'm like, oh, you didn't notice the grays? And she's like, no. And now when I go, they're like, oh, do you want us to help you with these? Like they like say something about it every time. I'm like, we're going to see how it looks. I am going to let it just see what happens. But
yeah. See what you're working with. Also, I like them just being like, ooh, do you want us to have you give us more money?
Yeah, exactly. I was at a wedding and I did like kind of braided back on the sides, which pulls it. All of my grays are like underneath the sides of my part. It's weird. Okay. So when you pull it up, you can see way more.
Like part down the middle, you talking about?
Yeah. So on the side, like underneath. So if you push it up, this is hard because you can't see me, but if you push it up on the sides, then more of the grays are underneath. You'll have to watch
under
the video.
The sides here?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
And so when you braid it back right there, because it was two braids on the side like that, all of the grays like kind of popped out in the front. And I was like, well, you can really see those. And she goes, oh, do you want me to spray them? Like she was going to spray brown on top of them. And I was like, no, I'm fine. We'll just roll with it, I'm trying to embrace the grays and just let them do what they're going to do. But it is shocking sometimes when you can see more of them.
Yeah, I've in the last year, 2 years, I've started to get like white hairs in my beard. Oh, yeah. And
think about dyeing it again?
Yeah, I'm going to start just dyeing it black, but just here.
Just here. Just this part.
No, but it's like frustrating to see that happen. But you're like, also, this is age appropriate. Like, and like hair changing color, like getting white or gray, is also like tied to stress. And I
Yeah.
read news more often than I
Yeah,
should.
we've
Just
all
going,
been more stressed in the past couple years. There's going to be more
oh,
grays, okay? Or white hairs or whatever's coming in
yeah,
for you.
absolutely. I've seen so many of my friends just age like a decade in the last couple of years, where
I've
you're like,
aged
ooh,
so much that now I've started to say, this is your fault to our son. We'd be like, I didn't have these before the last 2 years when we had to be home together the whole time.
good,
Yeah,
good.
it's
Cultivate
good.
resentment.
But that's
That
what
will.
every adult in my life when I was younger would always say that. Whenever you said like,
Oh,
"Oh, look at your gray hairs," they'd be like, "Oh, you gave them to me." Like that was like a normal. Blake's nodding his head too. Yes, that's you
oh,
had
man.
your parents never brought it up. They're like, "Nope, we'll just help you dye your chin."
Yeah, no one
Blamed
ever
their
tried to
stress on
make
you.
me feel bad for the passage of time.
It seems like a tradition in most families. I feel like I've heard that a lot, but
Oh, weird.
um,
Well, I mean, yeah.
or maybe some are like, "You make me drink," but they didn't say that to me, so that's good. But
That's a good one to cultivate. That makes me feel bad. I kind of wish I was a father, so I could just be like, "You made me bald."
you
And
made
they're
me
like,
bald. They're like, that happened a while ago, but
"Yeah, that
that's
was a pre-existing condition, Papa."
I like that your children would call you Papa.
I would exclusively want them to call me
You're
just
like, just
nonsense
don't. They'd
names.
be like, Dad. You're like, I don't know who that is. I'm not
Hmm.
answering to that.
Who's this? Who's this dad? I
Yeah.
don't know him. They're like, Papa, can I
I think that's a pretty good idea. All right. Do you have maybe one more, or we can continue to talk about your diagnosis?
Okay, a quick little addendum to that dyeing of my hair story, because that was like junior high, and then that kind of carried into high school a little bit, but then I started to grow my hair out, and then I did shave the undersides.
Okay.
But it didn't like that's like a look that works well now, but I just like did it myself. I cut my own hair. Obviously. But even then I did that, and then like I had it long and shaved on the sides for like just a little while, and then it started to fall out, which I feel like I might have earned from what I did with my hair a little bit.
Okay, so I'm trying to. It wasn't like a mohawk. It was like
No, it was like long, like this long.
okay.
But shaved on the underside, but like the ends of it were still dyed. So I was just growing it out. Just thinking, natural hair is coming out. Half of it's whatever. I don't give a shit. Like I'm a metalhead. Like this is just for head banging. And people are like, you could look more attractive. I'm like, what does that even matter?
What? Who cares?
Yeah.
People say, you could look more attractive. I guess that people say that shit all the time. Anyway.
Or, whatever nice. Someone was probably flirting with me and I was like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Right. Excuse me. I got to rage.
Yeah. That wouldn't help me in the pit.
No. Did you like spike it up?
Not when it was that long.
Not when it was that long. No. But you at some points you were spiking.
Yeah. Well, no, it was shorter. I spiked it, and then going to metal shows, you realize having long hair makes it a little bit easier to like headbang.
Right.
So you're like, well, let's grow that out.
I've only ever been to one metal show.
Ooh, who'd you see?
Silent Planet. We've talked about this, right? Yes.
Yeah. So it took me a second. Yeah, no, Erin. Yeah, I know. She.
Yes, we're like, kind of related to the bass player.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so we went to see him, and everyone has the longest. I'm talking like dreads and stuff, just like super long hair, and that was the point. And so both of us are like enjoying. All right, yeah, we're into it. I can headbang for Jesus. If you don't know, Silent Planet is a Christian band.
Yeah. No, it's. I really enjoyed them, and then I heard I went and saw him live, and then he was talking in between. He's just like, I had a psychotic break, but luckily Jesus was there, and I was like,
The singer had no shoes on, and then would like pray before every single song. And so I was like, I had never been to a metal show before. And I was like, this is because it's Christian, right? And she was like, yeah, this isn't like, they don't normally do that. I was like, all right.
Most metal shows are the inverse of that.
They're like, let's talk about the devil.
Well, it's usually it's a lot of ex-Christian kids. Who
I
like,
see.
Well,
okay.
This will make mom and dad pretty perturbed.
Got it. Love it. But we were like, all right, we can get into this, head banging, I suppose. And then my neck hurt so bad the next day.
The first show, because also you're not used to it. Why would you be accustomed to just being like,
yeah,
like who would be like have the muscles for that activity that doesn't do like listen to the music like that? What sort of not meth head would be good at that? The first show I ever went to after I started shaving my head, the next day, oh my God, did my neck hurt so bad. Because like if you can't like do this,
I see. You got to like full on.
Oh yeah, you're like I'm compensating.
I need people to know that I am headbanging because my hair cannot indicate that. With that was kind of the fun part because we both have long hair. Pretty much everybody there had long hair, I feel like, and so it was like you get like the shake of it. It's fun, but yeah, I guess if you got to let people know.
You have to virtue signal.
Yeah, you can't. Even if you had a long beard, you couldn't really move the same way. So I don't.
That and I that is what I transferred from here down to here, and I had a really big beard, and that'd be like you could do like a head nod.
Get at least like a little flop going.
That would wave in the wind.
Really, the techniques of headbanging here, I've never really thought about.
I have so many more thoughts on hair than a rational human being should have.
Which is funny because I mean maybe that's just sorry.
No, finish the entire thought that you were
because you don't have hair, but then you start thinking about it more in those, you know. I
mean, I used to, so I'm like, I know what this was like, and I did it this way, and then I don't anymore. But also, I have to. I've said this so many times on podcasts, on stage, everywhere. But it's just like I only think about hair so much because I constantly have to pay attention to it.
Oh, that's fair.
Like everyone else, not everyone else, but anyone who's not like a bald dude can just be like, yeah, I got my hair cut a couple weeks ago. Like you might want to do some upkeep, but like every couple days, got to take care of this.
Every couple days, okay.
Yeah.
Have you, maybe during some lockdown times or anything, did you just let it grow a little bit and see what it looks like?
Yeah.
How was that?
And it got sadder. like just
I gotta shave.
It's just a cul-de-sac like strengthened, and I was like,
You're like, this HOA's got to come in here and really tell everyone to trim their bushes. For real.
I was about to get fined for not mowing my front lawn sufficiently.
Oh God! All right. Well, geez, that was.
Yeah, that wasn't. I was actually just an addendum to the previous thing.
No, that's okay. That's perfect. But honestly, I learned a lot in that little bit there, so that's good. But mostly about headbanging and what is important hair-wise, which I feel like if you like that kind of music or whatever, then you actually do probably think about hair a little bit more because you're like, I got to use this. Yeah,
it's also I don't know. It's a part of the look. Like you have long hair. And it just looks cool, some guitar player like going off and their hair is hanging over. It just, I don't know, it looks rock and roll. It's been that way for decades.
Yeah, that makes sense. So yeah, you're still thinking about it. I get it. Well, thank you for being on the show. I absolutely loved every idea you brought. I really had a good time. And we're so glad you made it through the river and through the chin dyeing.
I might bring it back. Who knows? Let's see what these.
I think you should try. Why not? Where can people find you to follow you and come see your live shows and those things?
Follow me on all social medias: TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. It's all at Luke Severeid. LUKESEVEREID. It's like the word severed with an I before the D. I'm hitting the road. I produce a couple shows in Washington, Burien, Arlington, Puyallup, Tacoma. I produce shows there, but then also I'm on the road, just heading everywhere that I can, yell jokes. But yeah, follow me on some platform. Come see me be bald at you. Complain about hair in person.
Do it. Yeah. All right. And then if you're watching this on YouTube, you can subscribe right here. Or if you're listening, subscribe, give us a review, all those things. It's very helpful. And my dates are on my website, monicanevi.com. But right now, you can just keep watching Dumb Pitches.
You're weird.
Yes.